Caleb.
Hello and welcome, A Day with Caleb. Today we are doing, copycat films that are the same but different, mostly released the same year. Take, for example, this shirt, Sith City. It's a play on Sin City, set in the style just with Star Wars characters. Kind of the same with these films. Probably going to be a two-parter. There's a lot of films, and I feel like I've barely scratched the surface for what's out there. If you don't see the copycat films that you think should be on the list, if it's not on part one or part two, comment in either part down below, and maybe we'll do a future part if there's ones on here that you have not seen that you want to see. So comment down below. We'll start with probably one that comes to mind for me all the time, and that is A Bug's Life, released in 1998, and Ants. This one is tricky because, was it Katzenberg? They were working on A Bug's Life, and he was in a lot of those meetings, and they take years to do. So he eventually went to DreamWorks and pitched basically the same idea, and they created Ants, which did release before A Bug's Life, because he wanted to it be put out first. Ultimately, A Bug's Life, better film, better box office results. I like both. I have the complete toy line of Ants, so that's cool. We won't take a minute on each one because there's a lot to get through, but we'll kind of rapid fire some of these, and we will display the two movie posters on each side so you can see, and then the year that they were released, so I won't have to say a year every time. Second off, we have Deep Impact and Armageddon. Armageddon, more popular, at least I think, and I did see it first, rented it with our cousins. Deep Impact, it would be a little while before I saw that. Volcano and Dante's Peak, two great films. I would probably lean closer to Dante's Peak with Pierce. Great cast, great story. Volcano is a strong copycat film. Let's see. Yeah, same year, so I do like the Tommy Lee Jones film. Solid. Next up, we have Truman Show and Ed TV. This is no contest. Truman Show all the way with Jim Carrey. Even though Ed TV solid, but you can't beat the Truman Show, obviously. And then Without Limits and Prefontaine. These are both about the long distance runner Prefontaine. Uh, Tombstone and Wyatt Earp. Now, no question, Tombstone wins out on that one. Whether maybe a lot of people overlook because Tombstone was so popular. So many quote, I'll be your Huckleberry, so many great performances. It's my favorite Western, I will say that. I love a good Western. Tombstone's number one on that list. Watch it with my dad from time to time. Great movie. Then we have 1492 Conquest of Paradise, and then Christopher Columbus, The Discovery. Don't know. I remember 1492 a little bit, but that's about it with those. Big, this is a triple feature. Big, so maybe we'll put them below here. Big, Vice Versa, and Like Father, Like Son. There was a lot of those body switch movies. Freaky Friday, of course. You had a bunch of those. There were a couple more they listed, but they were a couple years later, so we just stuck with these three. Next we have Gremlins and Ghoulies. Of course, Gremlins that gets my vote every time. Such a great movie. Sequel was good too. Ghoulies, I believe there's 3 of them. We watched those later on TV. Then next up we have Rambo Last Blood, Stallone, and then we have Commando with Arnold. So, similar concept, they were both at the height of their popularity, both great action stars, and both were pumping out films in the late 80s, so, but Last Blood gets my vote. It is a better film. Commando not as memorable as, First Blood. Last Blood just came out recently. Then we have Weird Science and Real Genius. Not too familiar with Real Genius. I do remember watching Weird Science as a kid. Then this is interesting, this one. Back to the Future and Peggy Sue Got Married. Josh has seen Peggy Sue more than I have. I do remember it kind of. No question, Back to the Future, Texas one. No contest. Michael J. Fox, great cast, great story, hands down. I need to rewatch Peggy Sue though, and see the time traveling, because I forgot that was a time travel movie. You just think, oh, she got married, no big deal. Next we have American Tail, Steven Spielberg, Universal, and the Disney classic, The Great Mouse Detective. That one is a little harder. I would lean toward The Great Mouse Detective just because Sherlock Holmes, mystery, great film. American Tail, probably the sequel, I would say, that would be closer, but as far as the first film, Great Mouse Detective. Then K-9 and Turner and Hooch, both are great movies by 2 great actors. Probably Turner and Hooch a little better with Tom Hanks, but K-9, really funny film. The sequels are pretty good too on their own. And then Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and Robin Hood. Not the Russell Crowe Robin Hood. This was the same time period. I'm trying to think. Kevin Costner, was he in Robin Hood? Or was he in Was Prince of Thieves? Okay. Yeah. So I would probably lean toward the Kevin Costner. Then we have Rookie of the Year and Little Big League, both about kids going into the major leagues and how they do. probably would side with Rookie of the Year because I remember it kind of more. Then we have, California with a K and Natural Born Killers. Most people would pick Natural Born Killers. Great performance by Woody. But I would probably side toward California with a K because Brad Pitt, great performance, great use of a letter, because you kind of get the sense you know what's going to happen with the K, the kill, California. So that's good. Then Terminal Velocity and Drop Zone. Those are very similar. Probably would lean more toward, see, I don't even know, Terminal Velocity probably. I remember more. Heavyweights and Camp Nowhere. Obviously, no question. Heavyweights every time. Buddy! Buddy! It's such a great film. And arguably one of Ben Stiller's greatest performances, right there with Meet the Parents. Meet the Parents a little bit better because it is such a great comedy. So many great lines in that. But Heavyweights, he kind of steals the show. He is a great, great performer in that movie. Such a great film. But Camp Nowhere, it's no slouch. I mean, that's a solid film, a good plot and story. Christopher Lloyd, great. The kids were great. But I would side with Heavyweights, one of my childhood favorite films. So Heavyweights takes that one. Next we have Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. I did not realize that they came out the same year. So that one, probably Mortal Kombat slightly just because of the fight scenes. But Street Fighter, again, Van Damme, solid performance. The villain in that was great. He took it to another level, battling, I believe he had cancer. So that was his last film. Unfortunately, he passed a few months later, I believe. Then the next one is Babe and Gordy. Basically the same film. Gordy is kind of, I won't say, well, all these are rip-offs, but of the other film. But Babe, such a superior film. I don't remember much about Gordy, honestly. Babe had a sequel, so maybe I recognize it more because we watched those two films more. So yeah, Babe wins out. So that is the first part of this copycat film series. Stay tuned. A couple days we'll do part 2. So like, subscribe, share with a movie copycat lover. Until next time, guys, keep collecting.